tell us about your events, right? If you've got an event coming up and you want us to give it a bit of promotion on air, online, on the app, and on our socials, you can do that for £15, flat fee, £15, 4 weeks before your event. We'll get a radio ad for you created, but we'll need a voice note from you and ideally an instrumental track. That will go on our app on our website as well.
But guess what?
What?
It's free for patrons.
It is free for patrons. So go and sign up there as well. But also go on our app. Go and download that. Future Hits Radio app on Google Play Store and the App Store. Go and download it. See some more events.
Also, thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, cheers. Try my new hat.
I do. Sneak.
No, it's not Sneak.
Is it not?
No, it's not Sneak. It's just some cheap thing from Shen. But
I
bought a few things from there because I needed some new clothes because I was very conscious I always wear the same stuff on this.
And yet here you are.
And yet here I am wearing the same stuff as I usually do.
You had a nice shirt on when you came in.
Oh, that was office mode. I was like, what? I just thought I just want to be comfortable. And it's a bit chilly in here today for some reason.
Oh yeah, that heat's still on actually.
Ah.
I believe you're shopping on Shein.
I don't usually shop on Shein. It was just that. So basically, what it was, right? We were in.
This is recording, by the way.
Yeah, we started. It's fine. So we went to. I was gonna say Cornwall. Where did we go? Suffolk, right? I went to Suffolk with the family, and there was like this surf shop called Salt Rock, and I think they're a Cornwall-based company. And I saw a shacket, you know, like the one I wore the other week.
Check.
The red black check one. So I saw something like that in there, and like a big hoodie.
Oh, they got lots of that on Shein.
Yeah, and I was like, but it was in this Salt Rock, it's like 50 quid, 60 quid, and it wasn't my size, it was a bit too big. And Shah was like, you look a bit stupid in that, it's a bit too big.
At least you're honest.
She's very honest. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, I won't get that. I won't spend £60 in this shop, so I spent £100 on Shein. What have you lost, Kieran?
Yeah. In this drawer.
Why? Oh, that is brilliant, yes.
Okay. So, welcome to the Soundcheck podcast, by the way.
Hello.
So we'll start this episode now. You wouldn't believe it, but we actually have a guest today. We've just ignored for the last 3 minutes. We are joined by Hallworth, your second time in Southend.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah. And it's to see us again.
That's the only reason I'd come here.
Hey!
For the very last episode of Series 1 of the Soundcheck podcast.
Woohoo.
And throughout this podcast, this series, Kieran has noticed a few keywords, repeated phrases, etc. And actually, I was going to get you one. Did you that cap I sent you? I'm not a musician.
Right. So all right. So you can't have this one because Abby's just set it up. Oh, okay. You're not. So can you tell us? So basically, right. So for the listeners and the watchers of the podcast, Kieran has got a whiteboard, and he is going to. How many words are you writing on there, or phrases? I have 10 things. You have 10 things. Okay, he's got 10 things.
Wow.
10 things on the whiteboard.
We need some new content.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this as a series, like different series, as opposed to just like continuous. So anyway, so he's got 10 phrases on the board. And we're going to see by the end how many we actually get through. The task for us is not to get any of them.
Okay.
However, we will, because it's just the way it is. So one of them is this. If this is on the board, you can't have it. One of them is I'm not a musician, right? Because I'm not. But and I've talked about it quite a bit. And then Abby was going to get me a hat with that on it because I say it a lot. So you can't have that one, Kieran. The rule is it doesn't have to be the specific, it has to be the gist of. Okay, fine. All right then. I'm just re-saying that just in case people can't hear you.
I'm going to bring the board on camera at the end of this episode.
Oh yeah, can you make sure that there's no sensitive content on that board?
Sensitive?
I'm sure the
yeah, there actually is. Our phone numbers are on it.
Oh yeah, take them off.
No, leave those on.
Sorry, as you were saying, so the second time that you've been to Southend.
Yeah, and it's to see us.
It is. Again.
Keep dragging your back.
I know. This time it wasn't quite as short notice though.
No.
That's true.
This is
had some time to plan ahead.
You were absolute lifesaver that day.
Yeah, you really were.
I had such a lovely evening though that night. It was so nice. Everyone was so lovely.
I think you were the highlight, to be honest, because I think for me, you were not only a fantastic musician, but you were very funny. And I think you could hold the crowd just being you. And I think that's Great. That's what I said about you when you performed the other week. It was like, it was nice that you could just hold a crowd, and it's like sometimes that was my song and this is another one. It's like, that's not like, you need that. I think that interaction with the crowd's important, and you do it very well.
The best thing you said that night, I think, for me was something about I dated a boy from Southend, actually, so I'm blaming all of you.
I stand by it. Actually, like the train went past his stop, and I was a bit like,
oh no,
been a while,
which
so
stop
it's
was
fine.
that? Rochford.
no.
Ah.
I can say. I mean,
Oh yeah, I don't care.
it
You.
is Rayleigh.
Oh, boo.
That's where I grew up.
Yeah, there you go. Terrible place.
Terrible
Just
place.
kidding. I've never been, so I actually can't say.
Yeah, I don't think you. I mean, Rayleigh's all right. You're not missing loads. It's got a big hill, isn't it?
That's what I look for.
Yeah.
In a place. Places to walk.
10 out of 10 will recommend.
So that evening we're talking about was a gig that we put on at 21 on the seafront here in Southend. And we also had Heidi, Sam Fraser, good self, and
Fraser Morgan.
of course Fraser Morgan, of course. But it was all, a bit last minute, because we did originally have Louise, didn't we? And then she was ill, so she pulled out, and it was like a last minute scramble, and we were like, we don't know what to do. And then you thankfully answered our call and came all the way down to perform for us at that gig.
Absolute legend. It was you say it like it's a big deal. I just had the best time, so I'm like, great, yeah, anytime.
My mum will love that because you sat with her all night. So she.
Oh, I
thinks
loved
that
your
you're
mum. She was so lovely.
Everyone loves Debbie.
There you go, mum.
There you go, there's a shout out.
Yeah.
She's not had one yet, I don't think.
She has.
You reckon?
No?
No.
Oh, Kieran says no.
Kieran says no.
Well,
Kieran
she
says no.
deserves a massive shout out. So
She does
She'll love
deserve a
that.
massive shout out. So where are we starting then? Because you've uploaded music to us ages ago, and I'm pretty sure it's probably on your show, Abs, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So when was the first interaction with that? Or what was the first song?
First show, Will You Love Me Later, I think. Was on
Yeah.
my very first Ice Pick show.
There you go.
Don't know where I found you.
I don't know either.
But
glad
thank
I
you.
did.
Yeah.
So you found Hannah.
I think so. Like we do when we're curating shows, that you
Yeah.
just look around on different sort of PR websites, little artist management websites, and maybe other radio stations' track lists.
Not anymore. They
Not
look at
anymore.
ours.
Yeah, we don't need to do it anymore. We
No.
get loads of submissions every week, but yeah, the very first. Maybe it was like a Muso soup or something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
that
that.
makes sense. I feel like it was like 2022.
It's a good, it would have been 2022, wouldn't it? Because we started properly in January of 2022. Now, where are we now?
I think it was 2021.
Really?
No, it was 2022.
Yeah, it's 20. So we started in July of 2022, and then we proper kicked off in January of last year, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah. And then we've obviously, since we've grown, all of our presenters absolutely love your tracks. Ian's actually a big fan, isn't he? Ian John on Drive. And he's on
Open mic show, yeah.
mic
So
show.
his open mic show goes out at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, and he's also on Wednesday Drive from 4 till 7 as well. So he's busy. Not quite as busy as Kieran on the radio, but he's still busy.
I was thinking earlier, you're not going to hear us. I was literally thinking earlier, I was doing my bingo to mention Ian as one of the things, and I haven't written it down.
Well, it doesn't count then. Ian was not on your bingo list. It does not
If
count.
you've not written it down yet, you can't just.
You can't just
Add
add
to the
stuff.
list.
Can you finish writing now? How many? You got one more. How many have you got down now?
Making 12, so it's even.
And also, that's the amount of episodes we've had in the series. So I like your thinking.
12, yeah.
Is that why you're doing 12? Or is that a happy coincidence? I think for the next series we need to give him a mic.
I think so, yeah. We're micing you up. We're going to have a clip on road. Happening. But yeah, so obviously, second track, I think, was Staying Over, switching up your
Yeah.
style a little bit. And you've just released an EP back in March.
Yeah, 1st of March it came out.
1st of March. And you've been very busy
I guess.
since the release of that. Well, you took it on tour, for one,
Yeah, back in January. That was fun.
back in January. And you've been doing lots of gigs. You've been away. Had to trip over to Nashville. So we've got loads to catch up on.
Yeah,
But should we start with the EP?
absolutely.
Because I feel like initially you're uploading tracks now and then just as singles, and now it feels like you're starting to kind of, it's probably going to be on the bingo board, but be a bit more strategic about releases, maybe.
I guess. I think I just really liked the idea of putting together like a body of work that wasn't just like random singles. Like you said, like there was kind of a difference from Will You Love Me Later and Staying Over, where the vibe kind of changed, and I just like wanted to put something cohesive together and be like, okay.
But then even towards that cohesive project, the vibe was different again. You were working with a new producer?
So, on the EP I worked with 2 different female producers. So I worked with Amy Sargent and Hattie, and then I produced the other 2 tracks myself, which was great because it meant it was all female produced, which was very fun. But it was really fun to work with different people and kind of get different ideas and influences in it.
And that's similarly how you approached your tour, right? Was it mostly female eyes that was supporting you there?
I think we had like a fairly good gender split. Like at my support for the London and Bristol show for both of them was my friend Pete, but then the other artist was we had a lovely band of females and a girl. So I tried to keep it pretty even. I think going into the EP, I really wanted to prioritize like having women, non-binary, just having some diversity in it, but I wasn't gonna say like no men,
yeah,
because I think that's also kind of a little bit
It's not inclusive, is it?
Yeah,
No,
like
yeah.
it's not
The opposite
inclusive.
way.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was just trying to like even the balance a bit.
Nice approach. So when it came to the EP and you're thinking, I want to create a cohesive body of work, how did you go about that project? How did that start?
I actually I was working on that EP for quite a while, maybe like a year or so. So I first started writing those songs at the end of 2022, kind of the end of the summer into the autumn. And I think it was just about like sitting down and thinking about what songs work together. 3 of the songs were about the same person, and the other one I was just like, I feel like this fits the vibe of it, and kind of like what I'm saying, and it's just like it's like a breakup EP, like
The
love and breakup. Yeah, exactly, which is kind of why I called it that, which is a bit of a pretentious name, but it's quite fun. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of put it together and make it that journey of like there's a song about falling in love, and then the rest of them are all about having your heart crushed.
Not by Rayleigh Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Essex is doing well tonight.
Represent.
Yeah. But that's okay.
I gave you content, didn't it?
Yeah. You know what? Silver linings.
Inspiration.
Everyone go to, if you want to write some good songs, go to
Go to
Essex.
Rayleigh. You'll either be heartbroken or disappointed.
Wow. Literally my birthday.
I'm joking. That was partly an Alan Partridge quote. So not about Rayleigh, but about London, but whatever.
Leave him to that.
I understood it.
No, Partridge jokes were for the unsigned.
Yeah, all right, I'll stop. With the EP and working with different producers, were they... Because where are you based? You're based in London.
Yeah, in London.
So were they based in London as well? Was it face-to-face working or was it remote?
Yeah, so with Hattie, she lives in Newcastle. So
Oh, wow.
I kind of like demoed the track and then sent it up to her, and then we kind of sent it back and forth until eventually I went up to Newcastle and we did the vocals together and kind of finished it off, which was really nice to get to actually like meet her in person.
Yeah.
She's great.
I think there's only so much you can do remotely. I think it does help when you're together.
Yeah, especially when you're like sending notes back and forth and you're like, oh, that one little sound, like, can we make it more like this? And it's just
Hard to get into the finer details, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over email.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and then Amy, she's in London, so that was nice. We just worked on that from the start together. I took the song as like a piano demo to her, and she was working in the Spotify studios in Metropolis at the time.
Cool.
Oh,
So
wow.
we got to go in there, and it was just like a really lovely space and just work that out, and it went really well. The first day we just got so much down, and then we just went from there. So
And that was on I Do Love Her, so.
Yeah.
I love that song. So thank you. I've actually been singing it all day, I won't lie.
oh,
That always happens. Every week. Should have been on the bingo list.
I know, I was whistling Will You Love Me Later as I walked in. I was like, stop doing it!
It's so embarrassing.
no, it's like the biggest compliment.
But what it is because like we haven't obviously seen you in quite a while. So for today I was like obviously doing other things. I was like, right, I'm in the car on the way here. I'm going to listen to your tracks, just get like
refresh myself.
Yeah,
Just
just
refresher course.
exactly. And then so you do come in, you start wishing, you go, oh, I'm such a knob.
It is quite embarrassing. It was April J last week, wasn't it? I was like, morning grey, what can I say? Like, and she was like, is that my song? I was like,
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no, you say it's a compliment,
Yeah.
but for us it's a bit of an ick, isn't it?
A bit of an ick.
Bit of an ick. So with the producing, how was it different in producing your own tracks compared to working with someone? Because obviously, like you said, when you've got that collaboration, you can bounce ideas off of people, and maybe people can say, oh, maybe you could take it in that direction instead. Like, how did you find that process compared to working on your own?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to
I think all
making
artists
music.
are.
Yeah, especially when it's something you've like written about your own life, or you get really into the sound and everything. So like I do love working with other people, and I think it is great, and I think it pushes you to be better. But it was nice to just kind of sit in my house and completely be in control of absolutely everything. And on my weekends, I also got to get my friend Ben, who lives up in Sheffield, to put some cello on it, which was great. So that kind of felt collaborative, because I was like, okay, you put what, like, here's the song, and I'd already put some violin on it, and I was like, you go and do whatever you like, I trust you. So that was nice to like have someone else's input. But yeah, it is nice to be able to kind of sit down and do it yourself.
Yeah, I guess it's a release of control when you have to work with other people. But do you find, and I'm not taking current experience into account here whatsoever, however, when when you are working with another producer or someone else, what's the best way of saying it? Do you find it easy to be like, to take not criticism, but to take constructive notes from them?
I think now, yes. There was definitely a point in my life where I'd be a bit like tetchy about it, but I've been playing music a long time. I played classical music growing up, so I was constantly.
It was the violin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How you started.
So I did like classical singing. I played the violin. I played the piano. So I've always had people critiquing me.
Oh, they're brutal in classical music.
Yeah.
I trained in opera for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just savage.
Yeah, you're like, I'm doing my best.
And I'm also probably learning another language at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry,
With
I
opera,
can't roll my R's, good damn.
Italian, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I feel so common right now.
Well, you
do
didn't
it.
study classical music because you're not a musician, mate.
No. Although my dad got thrown out of the Royal College of Music
Did he? Why did you get thrown out?
because he's rock and roll, wasn't he? I don't know. Can't remember. I think he just
Rock and
stopped going. I think it sound yeah.
Can I ask him?
You can ask him, yeah. You can ask him anything.
There you go.
What other instruments are you playing on the EP? If you can play the piano as well as violin, what else is? What's MIDI and what's not?
Oh yeah, well, you do MIDI as well, don't you? I've seen a few stories.
Yeah. A lot of it was real. So there's like guitars in it. Most of the acoustic guitar, I mean, all of the acoustic guitar is real, I think. And then there's no real drums on it.
Yeah, but right. So
That's it.
you're about to laugh, but that's a very cost-saving, effective way to make a record. And also, like we had, I may have mentioned this on this, so bingo, whatever. But we spoke to one of my favourite bands that we've had on the station over the last year is a rock band, Aurora Sun. And I was having a conversation with what?
He's kicking himself that he didn't put.
Oh right, well there you go then. Yeah, so anyway, so I was chatting to them the other day or the other week, and they were saying that when they put drums onto a track, and they're a rock band, it's MIDI because it's just easier to do. It's just easier to do that, and then obviously the drum then learns from that, or the drummer I guess might come up with ideas for the MIDI, but even still, it's just easier to do it.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much sort of emphasis, and everyone, I get it. If you're in a band and you have a drummer and you have a bass player and you have a lead guitarist and like you have all of these different people playing their instruments, they want to they want to be heard on the record, right? So I do understand that, but if you can streamline it a bit, surely it's easier.
Yeah.
That said, I am actually going to the studio tomorrow to record some live drums. So, but
Well,
I do agree
use
with
MIDI.
you. I do agree with you that MIDI and like sample drums have like they're great, and people can't tell the difference most of the time.
There's a lot of options, and yeah, I think especially as a solo artist, and if you're doing more pop kind of indie stuff, it works
For sure.
But yeah, there is something nice about live drums. There is something special.
There's don't get me wrong. If you've got the capacity to
the
record
money.
everything live, yeah, the capacity and the
expensive.
finances to do everything, then of course. But what my point is to people that are starting out is that you don't have to go big straight away. Like we've seen, like loads of artists and loads of bands have got the photo outside Abbey Road or Metropolis or wherever, and it's like those are fantastic places to be able to go and record music. It's also inexpensive, so try and do what you can to make it affordable for yourself, because it's an expensive, not hobby. What's the word? Like it's an expensive thing to get into, isn't it?
Yeah. Well said.
I think it's interesting looking at like artists like Griff, who produces all her own music,
huge.
writes all her own music, and like all of the credits on a load of her releases are just her. So you think how much money she's saving.
Yeah.
there. But it's really cool, and I think
Love to be Griff.
yeah, but I think that like having to do things on a shoestring budget kind of pushes you to learn new skills as well. Like, oh, okay, I'll learn how to produce. Like, I'm not the greatest producer in the world, absolutely not. But like, I just do it partially because it's expensive to pay someone else, and partially because I like doing it and I like having the control. But I do think, like you say, like do what you can with what you have. It's not going to make a bad song. It's not going to be the difference between that song doing well and that song doing badly.
No, that's true. What is so when you come to producing your own tracks, what software are you using? What is your setup?
Logic.
Yeah.
I use Logic. I'm very lucky. I have a nice little room in my house where all my studio setup is, and I kind of just sit in there and I have all my instruments around me. And I usually have like an idea of how I want it to sound, and I do my best to get it there.
So how do you take that from a writing perspective then? How long is it before you take a song that you're happy with, say as a demo, and then take it into your studio to produce a full track? Like you must have so many tracks written. How do you decipher which ones you're going to take through into the studio?
Into the room.
I said studio
Yeah.
sounds better, doesn't it?
It's a studio.
Yeah.
Across the hall.
yeah, down the stairs. I don't know. I guess sometimes I'll write something and then immediately be like, this, I want to go and demo this. I feel like I want to make it sound this way or do this with it. But I guess a lot of the time I kind of sit with songs. I try and demo as many as I can. So like when I was away recently, anything I wrote, I was trying to get at least like a fairly good like guitar and vocals demo down, just so like I had it and I could send it to people and it wasn't just me making mistakes on my voice notes. But yeah, I try and do it with most songs I write, but obviously I don't do it with all of them because some of them are rubbish.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to have some that are rubbish because it's just life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not for now.
Well, then maybe they need more,
Yeah,
development,
More time.
tweaks,
Yeah.
someone else to come in and help maybe on
Yeah.
some of them,
for sure.
have that different insight.
Yeah, we can't all release a 31-track album
And
at once.
I mean, we've said this before, like at this stage, who only really dedicated fans are going to sit and listen to a 31-track album.
Eva woke up at 5 a.m. to listen to it.
So what?
That's incredible.
Well, I'm assuming you're talking about
Yeah,
Taylor's album.
Do you know sometimes she listens on the Future Hits radio account?
No, that's me.
Oh, is it?
No.
Well, I was listening to something on the Future Hits radio Spotify account the other day, and then Taylor Swift come on. I was like,
Oh, do you know why that was? That was that on Sunday afternoon or
5
Saturday
a.m.?
afternoon? No, it was. I'll tell you what it was, right? So you talk about studios at home, right? I've got a little studio at the bottom of my garden that is literally no bigger than this rug, right? But it's my little space, and that's where I go. That's where I work 9 to 5, but also do radio stuff and whatever. And it's also sort of half turned into my daughter's gaming room when I'm not using it. So she'll go in there and she'll be playing Sims or Roblox or whatever. And I went in there the other day, and she had on her phone, she had YouTube playing with someone playing Sims or
Always great,
whatever. Yeah, right. So she's got Sims on this screen,
mm-hmm.
YouTube on this screen, and then on my laptop, Taylor Swift playing. I was like, what are you listening to
Oh my
here?
goodness.
What are you doing? So that was her. I stand by that. It wasn't me.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We are going to see her though.
That's cool.
I told you that. Going in August to this like Eva's first concert she's been to, and we're going to see Taylor
First
at Wembley.
concert.
When are you going? I'm also going in August.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. You two chat. I'll tell you.
I'm going twice.
What? Not a fan then?
No, I obviously am. I just think that releasing a 31 track album is a really interesting move. But anyway.
Interesting move. I must research.
Yeah.
19th.
Oh, I think I'm going on the 14th and the 18th.
I mean, right. Talking of expensive,
Mm.
I'm not right. So the tickets that we got for that were like a few £100, right? For us, so for me, Charlotte, and the kids, it was like £400 ish to go. I was like, blimey, like it's a lot of money, and we're in the gods as well. Like we're like quite far away, and I felt a little bit bad afterwards because I was like, we're quite far away from everything. And Charlotte was like, look, she can be happy to be there. I was like, oh, okay, fine. But if you're going twice, where are you? Like that's. I mean, I'm assuming you haven't had to pay for a family of 4, but even
No.
still.
Me and my friends devised this plan where we're going once and we're standing. So that's when we'll go and we'll, maybe have a tipple, like see how the night goes. And then we're going 2 days later, I think, and we're seated so we can watch the show properly.
And Anna, we like from
Seriously, review the album.
yeah, I was going to say like analyze it.
Yeah. See what she's doing, get a good view.
It's
It's really ridiculous. Like, I'm so aware that that's ridiculous. And
No.
we've spent so much money.
I was going to say it must be.
Yeah, a fair amount, but
Yeah.
it's not as bad. Like, I have friends in America who spent £1,000 on a Taylor Swift ticket, so
Wow.
it's honestly cheaper for them to fly here and go here. So I don't really feel
Yeah.
too bad.
No, that's fair enough. What is the bit?
Justify it?
Is it the most amount of money you've spent on going to a gig?
Oh, absolutely. Normally, I won't spend more than like £30.
What's the most expensive gig you've been to? Not including like a festival. Like, what has been the artist you've wanted to go and see, and you've just got, I've got to go and see him?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Because a lot of the big bands I've seen have been at festivals. Like a few times I've worked at festivals as not even like good jobs, but like behind the bar.
Do you
Like,
want to talk about what you do for work?
Yeah, I also work in festivals, but like
but not behind the bar.
not behind the bar.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bit cooler.
You say shush.
No, I said ish.
Oh,
All
ish. What is it that you do then?
I do lots of things. I do like artist liaison, accreditation, like event management stuff.
That's cool, isn't it?
That is cool.
Yeah. And all over the world, countries.
I mean, technically, it's 2 countries.
2 countries.
but we'll
2
make it-
countries, so
Yeah, worldwide.
That's better than me going to the Isle of Wight and giving pints of Carlin to people, though, isn't it?
Isle of Wight, though, isn't that like a British island, or it's not necessarily part of Britain? So maybe that
Yeah, I had
counts
to
as
get a boat
worldwide.
there, yeah.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Worldwide. Going worldwide. No, but no, that was like years ago. But we saw, when I was there, who did we see? We saw Foo Fighters were there.
Oh, that's cool.
Kasabian, I think. There were like quite some, like there were some decent bands there. Prodigy, I think, were there again. So it was like, yeah, saw quite a few. And then I done it at V and it didn't have the same vibe because I was in my hometown. I was like, this is rubbish. But yeah, I don't know. It was good. So I've gone from do you know what? I got an offer to go and see Holding Absence. And I didn't this is going to be on there. Because we listen to so much unsigned and emerging music, I don't listen to any mainstream stuff, right? So I wouldn't be able to tell you, actually I can tell you who's number 1 because I saw it, it's Perry, I think, right? But generally, I wouldn't be able to tell you who's number 1 or what's necessarily in the charts because when I am listening to music, it's people like you, right? And forgotten where I was going with this.
You were going to see Holding Absence.
Yes, and I got an offer to go and see Holding Absence, and I was like, I don't know who they are. So anyway, so I started doing it, and I couldn't go. It was on I had other plans, and I was like, oh, I'll check out the band anyway. So I checked out the band. I love them now. I've literally, I've been listening to their stuff loads, and I was like,
It's the way.
oh mate, I was like, I wish I had gone, but that was at like I think it was at Ali Pally.
That's huge.
Oh, mine's tragic. It took me that long to think about.
You've been quiet for a while.
Sorry about that. I was thinking, seriously, who have I been to see? And all I could think of was High School Musical on Ice. I was like, no, come on, level up. And I'm not sure it was better, but I have seen 1975 at Ali Pali.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Yeah. It was good. It was like my first year at uni. And I went with all new uni people. So.
Yeah. I've never been to Ali Pali. I didn't really know it was this. Sounds a bit bad. I only really know it for the darts. I didn't really. Do you know what I mean? I didn't
even know there were darts there. If I'm honest.
Yeah, no. It was. I just know it for the darts. Ali Pali. I didn't realise it was such a massive music venue. It was only a few times when I come away from doing Unsigned, because I used to drive past it and there'd be loads of people coming out. I think Jake Bugg was there. It was like, Jesus, like it's actually, because from a music venue perspective, where does it rate, like from a capacity play in regards to, because it's bigger than like Shepherd's Bush and Islington and places like that, but it's not going to be like an O2 Wembley, is it? Like
No,
the one, it's like in between the
It's
two.
not too far from Wembley though.
Is it?
I think it's like maybe like 10,000 or something, and then Wembley's like 12 or 13.
Oh, okay.
Well, they are hosting like the big names.
Yeah, but it's a big venue. They also have a smaller venue in it that I went to for the first time on Friday.
Oh, really?
There's a theatre.
Oh.
I did that theatre, but which is much smaller, but really, really a lovely space.
They've got that at the O2, haven't they? Is it the Indigo?
Yeah.
They've got that there as well. But no, what would be your best venue then? If you were to get onto that level, what would be your venue of choice?
I mean, I grew up in Southeast London, so I've always wanted to play Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
Which is just reopened. Woohoo.
Woohoo. Sounds so
But yeah, that's always been like, because I grew up going to shows there all the time, so that would be the big one.
That would be the bucket
It's not
list.
even the biggest. Like,
no, but it's something that
size-wise,
means
but
something to you,
yeah.
though, and you've got a lot of memories there, I guess, and seen loads of artists. So, of course, I completely understand that. Where would yours be? Chinnery's?
100%. Yeah, it means a lot to me. That's my hometown.
Right, should we have a quick break? How many before we you haven't got to show it yet, but how many out of your 12 bingo?
0.
Technically 2.
Okay.
Affirmative on 1. So basically he's got 1. Okay, well we'll review that. Okay, Kieran's going to count 2, but Abby's like the boss, so she's going to tell you if you. Okay, right. Well, what we'll do, we're going to have a break, and then don't show us until we'll reveal at the end. But we'll be back in part 2 where Kieran's going to get his board out.
The suspense.
Guess who's a new sponsor? Sneak Energy. We're very, very happy that they've come on board. And not only that, if you scan the QR code, there's also a discount code as well. Get yourself 5% off. It's not a bad deal, is it?
Get yourself 5% off and do what you love for longer.
That's what they say.
That's what
they say. We love doing this.
Yep.
Most of the time.
Hence why I've got one open right now and it is delicious.
Go and buy some stuff. Get the discount code going. It helps us out if you help them out. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Thanks very much. Sneak! One more? I'm glad you remembered the tagline because I fucking forgot it. Guess who's a new sponsor on Future Hits?
No surprise, we are sponsored by Sneak Energy.
Get in there. They've also given us a 5% discount code, which will be on the screen or in the description of the episode. So if you want to get yourself some Sneak, get onto the website and you can get 5% off.
5% off to do more of what you love.
We love this, don't we?
Yeah.
Most of the time. And also, they help us if you help them. Get on it.
Most of the time.
All the time. Okay. What was your question, Kieran? Is anything that we spoke about in the break allowed for bingo? Adjudicator.
I say yeah.
You say yeah.
I think ideally he'd mark it off with a different colour pen, but...
Well, I could only find red. Blue.
There you go. Oh, God, just smash the 4K camera.
Sorry. Okay, so blue for break. So if you're just listening now, that doesn't work on podcasts, but Kieran has created a bingo board for the series 1 of the Soundcheck pod, and he's marking off what he thinks we're going to say. And me and Abby are being very careful not to say the things we think he's going to tick off. And at the end, we're just going to gurge out all of the
Yeah.
ones we think.
I don't know. There's a few things I know that's on there, but I'm surprised there's 12.
Yeah?
12 things on the board.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll
I
find
suppose
out.
he does just sit and watch us for like an hour every week.
Oh, Kieran does this.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what we'll do, Kieran's going to show us at the end. He's going to come out in front of the cameras and show what he's on his board.
It's a Kieran face reveal.
Kieran's going to reveal himself. That's the second time I've done that joke, and it's still funny.
You do say so.
You laughed. Therefore, it was funny. Right. You talked about travels earlier on, and I have to say, I was slightly concerned that I thought we'd lost you to Nashville.
Yeah, it's nice over there.
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to I thought you'd moved. I thought you'd gone. I had literally texted Abby. I was like, she moved out there.
Yeah, because we were saying, should we invite her down for the podcast? I was like, don't think she's going to be able to make
She's in
it.
Tennessee, mate.
No, I had to come back. Immigration.
How long were you out there for then?
Like 2 months.
Oh, really? What spur? I know obviously Nashville's like an amazing place and very rich in like music history, but what was your reason for going out there?
So I was out there in August of last year because it's quite a long, convoluted story. But
That's fine. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
I'd met a band when I was working as an artist liaison, and they were from Nashville, and I was already in America in the summer in California, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just make another stop on my trip.
It's not far, right?
Yeah. Yeah, not far at all. Not expensive. So in the summer, I went over to Nashville for a week, and I just like loved the atmosphere, and I went and saw some great music, and I thought, you know what, I think I want to spend some more time there. So when I came home, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And I remember speaking to my mum, and she was like, you can just go, you know, like you can just like, just do it.
Yeah.
So I got this idea in my head that I was going to go for 2 months. So then I worked ridiculous hours for the rest of the year until I saved up enough money so that I could go over there for 2 months and not work. But I spent a lot. Coffee over there is ridiculously
I
expensive.
think everything out there is expensive, isn't it? Like I've heard like about even like a pint out there now. It's like £10 for a pint. How much is a coffee?
I was drinking iced coffee, so I was being a bit of a bougie kind of girly, like my vanilla iced oat latte. Yeah. But it was about £7 a day on coffee.
Yeah, but how many was that? One coffee?
That's one coffee.
See, right, I have multiple coffees through the day, so I'd be spending 20 quid easy.
A day?
Oh yeah. No, but I mean in that context,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I definitely drink more than 3 coffees a day, definitely. So my point was, if I was buying
If you were
coffee
out
in America,
there,
if I was out there,
It's all going downhill.
Yeah.
If you were getting vanilla ice oat latte.
Yeah.
no, I had a oat cappuccino with an extra shot, please. Chocolate sprinkles and a sweet one.
Chocolate sprinkles.
But that's what I said that earlier on my order. She was like, "Did you say chocolate sprinkles?" Yes,
Why else would you get a cappuccino?
exactly. Even if it is oat. So that's so £7 a coffee is the negative. What was the highlights of Nashville?
Just all the music I saw, and also the people. Like the people over there are very. This is obviously generalizing, but everyone that I dealt with was
Yeah.
absolutely lovely and ridiculously talented. Like I went to loads of jam nights, and people would just be improvising and just making the most ridiculous music. And I think it was just really nice to be around that and be around a lot of musicians and just see so many shows. And like in Nashville, they have this thing where they do an early and a late show. So they start at like 7, the early show, and then the late show will be 9 p.m. So then you can see like
Save
3
both.
shows in a night because things go late till like 1 a.m.
Oh wow.
So you can jump from show to show. So you just get to see so much, even in such a short period of time. So it's just, it was just really nice. And I just met loads of lovely people. It's great.
Would you recommend that the songwriters have an experience like that, particularly in Nashville or anywhere else you'd recommend travelling to?
Yeah, it's actually funny. So when I was out there a few weeks in, somebody DM'd me and said, like a mutual friend said, you're out here, and I was thinking about doing the same thing. And
Yeah,
he
a lot
was,
of people do it.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't know. if
Louise
they
did,
do.
didn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shout out
it's-
Louise Parker.
It's a like,
that's weird.
What?
That's who we invited Hallworth down to replace when.
Oh, it's gone full circle.
Full circle. Damn it, it's not the ending.
It's all about Nashville,
All about
basically.
Nashville.
No. But when I was out there, yes, this other English boy, Joe, he messaged me, and so he ended up coming out there while I was still out there as well. So I kind of felt like I was handing over the baton, and but he's still out there now having what
So
seems like a
represent.
fantastic time. So maybe it is a thing. I don't know.
I think it does seem to, like, up until a few years ago, like, I knew of Nashville, but I think that comes
Only from films.
Yeah, I think it comes from films or like wrestling or football or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those.
All your cultural references, the sports, darts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but but I'm like, just,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but anyway, but it's like I knew of it, but I didn't, but it's only over the last few years that I've seen so many people go out there for comedy, for obviously as a place to go and visit it, but for music obviously as well. But it's, would you writing? I'm assuming you were quite inspired while you were over there. So did you write much when you were over there?
Yeah, I wrote a bunch. I got to write with some other people as well, which was great.
Was that planned before you went out?
No, I'd kind of gone out. Like, I was very lucky in that when I went, I already knew a few people. So when I went out there, I just like reached out to everyone I'd ever met briefly and was like, please be my friend. So that, yeah, it kind of came out of vaguely knowing people. But yeah, also just like reaching out to random people or like meeting people through going to shows and stuff like that. I didn't really have anything planned when I got there. I definitely had a moment when I got there and I was like, what am I
done?
doing? Yeah.
Overwhelmed.
Like, how have I ended up here? Like, is this a sensible idea? But yeah, by the end of it, I was like, had the best time and met the most wonderful people.
Did you stay in the same place the entire time, or did you travel around a bit, or was it all? Because I've
Yeah.
not been to Nashville, so is it all sort of quite concentrated? Is it everything quite local to each other?
It's fairly small. You can kind of drive around like from the south to the north east kind of in like 30 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
But, I was lucky that I stayed. I was pet sitting while I was there to save money on accommodation. And
Even better.
That's a
yeah.
great shout.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I could do that with 2 kids.
I actually think you could.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure, because some people like have family homes, and they like. I also went to Austin for a week while I was over there for South by Southwest, and I stayed in a family home, and they had 2 bedrooms that they were like, you can use either. And I was like,
Well, I was staying that one that night
Yeah.
and that one that night. Austin's
you
another place I've heard a lot about, especially
Yeah.
with comedy. It seems to be the place to those 2 places,
The
Nashville
live
and
music
Austin.
and comedy circuits
Mm.
tend to overlap, don't they?
Yeah.
but yeah, pet sitting is the best. And the first couple that I stayed with in Nashville ended up, we just got on like a house on fire. I absolutely love them. And they let me stay with them whenever I didn't have somewhere to stay, which was lovely. They're great. Shout out to them. I miss
If
them.
you're watching.
Yeah, if they're watching.
How did you find those people, or just people generally? Is there like a I will pet sit your dog.com? Or
Yeah, there's an app called Trusted House Sitters that I used.
Oh.
Someone give me a brand deal. Honestly, I've been I get like referral codes, and I've managed to like do quite well on my free months by referring all my friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if anyone wants a referral code,
Seriously,
slide
plug
into
it.
my DMs.
Plug it.
You get a discount and I get a discount. So, but yeah, it's great. I mean, I think I was very lucky in the experiences I had with it, and I tended to like have phone calls and stuff with the people before I went.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew I wasn't just going into like some weird den or something.
No, you're here
obviously
today.
yeah, but you do worry about it when you're traveling by yourself as well.
Of course,
you're just
yeah.
going to turn up in the middle of nowhere or something weird's going to happen. So no, it was so lovely. Everyone was so friendly. Like even the people I met were like, do you need somewhere to stay? We've got a room. And I was like, thank you.
You just wouldn't get that here, would you?
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't get, if you heard like someone looking for a room, you'd be like, no chance, mate.
Yeah.
I just think the British aren't very good at that.
I don't know, saying that. Fran Lusty.
Yeah.
I went to see her and Johnny Morgan at a gig once, and me and Dieter nearly missed the train home.
Oh, really?
And Fran was like, you can stay at ours, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's different because she's like,
Yeah, but I'd never met before.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time we've met.
I feel like because that's like,
It's the same with you, though. I feel like when we actually met in person, it did seem like we already knew each
Yeah.
it does.
I would
though.
let you stay at my house.
other. Yeah.
The first time we met. Not that it was relevant at all.
Do you want to come all the way to South East London? But my home's there. No, just
No. You have to.
Okay, that is starts.
that's taken a turn. Trusted house sitters.
Yeah.
She's legit.
It's okay. I don't rent my house out on there. I just go to other people's houses.
So I was going to ask you a question, but it's gone completely out of my head. Okay, here's one. Here's a music one. With the writing and from when you were in Nashville, have you, because obviously very country, is it a case that you've bought, because obviously some of your tracks are quite country anyway, has that inspired you to go more down that genre, or was it all country out there? I can't imagine it.
No, that's I feel like it has a reputation for being
stereotype.
all country, but it's really not.
Like
I
Daisy
didn't see
Duke
that
sort
much
of
country at all. Broadway obviously is massive, like honky tonks country, but I think I kind of ended up in an R&B and soul kind of pocket somehow through my friends, which I'm absolutely not. But I think that it was nice to kind of see all the different types of music, and then I think it's definitely influenced my songwriting. And I got to write a lot out there. And like, I don't know, it's a strange city in some ways. Like, you do writers rounds. You don't play, well, people do play gigs, but a lot of people play writers rounds, which I did a couple of times.
Well, what is that?
So you have 3 or 4 people and you all sit on stage together, and then you each play one song, and then it goes round again and you each play one song. And that's kind of an interesting experience of like,
Interesting model.
especially being compared so directly to the people around you. And you kind of go, and I think in my head I was like, I hope everyone's really rubbish that's in my round. And then they'd be like really good, and I'd be like, oh, so annoying. But it was kind of interesting to do that and even get that comparison, kind of see that influence. That's probably where I saw the most country, is the songwriters rounds, because I mean country is massive in Nashville.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun place.
So what happened with those then? You said it was a round, so was it a case that they would choose a winner from each round, or?
No, you just play songs.
Oh,
in a round,
right,
in a
okay.
round. And you do like 3 or 4 songs each usually, and then
that's the set, and then
Such a
And then you go
strange
home.
concept.
well, it's to us because we don't do it, but I mean, it's essentially an open mic, but you're taking it in turns as opposed to doing your set and then the next person doing their set. You're doing it all. It's like having, I don't know, our crowd within Southend and all doing one after the other and looping it back.
I was going to say we could listen to Ian John's live open mic
There you go.
show on a Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put that down in retrospect. You can't tick that off.
Oh,
Okay.
What, plug-in? You can't have plug-in our radio station as a bingo.
I'm so intrigued.
It's getting out of hand.
It's getting out.
but yeah, rounds are weird. And when I played a normal show on Sunday back in London, it felt really nice to like have some continuity.
I guess you can't really get into your rhythm if you're doing a song and then
Yeah.
waiting for 3 people to do theirs and then getting back to you
And
again.
you also sat on stage listening to it. So like,
right.
and often people will like harmonise with other people's songs and things like that.
Shut up!
Yeah, this is my song.
That's the wrong bit.
I think is really odd. And I was like, I don't think I'd do that. Like, what if they don't like my harmony? Like, ooh.
I can understand that on like
Yeah.
you can understand that on like a jam.
Moment.
You can understand that on like a jam session,
Yeah,
obviously. But to do with that is a bit.
I think it's normal over there though. I don't know.
Maybe we're too precious.
Yeah.
Love, hate that. I'm pretty sure my mum and my sister were both harmonising to my songs.
Your sister was. Shout out, Jess. Like, your family
whole
are getting
family.
shout outs today.
My whole family.
But
Yeah.
Jess was definitely singing along to you at the last one.
See, I don't hate that, but I also like she's heard him, and I trust her
Yeah,
to
she
do
knows
it.
what's going on.
She knows what's going on.
She's got a voice, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's actually better than like any of us. Like she's better than me, but she's
Any of us.
All
Sorry,
right.
Hannah.
in the family.
I'll take it.
My
honestly.
adopted sister. Yeah, no, she's super talented, but she's got no confidence. Nor do I, but just a tiny bit more.
Well, yeah, that was.
Definitely.
She was definitely harmonising with you then. But that was. You got a plan to do any more gigs?
Maybe.
Good chat.
I want to do it with a band. I keep saying it.
Oh, okay.
You can make that happen. Come play gigs in London and I can come.
Sounds like a plan. There you
Please.
go.
I want to come watch you.
You've really been gigging a lot. Obviously, you've just come back from Nashville. You've been on tour, which is huge, which we didn't really go into in too much detail.
No,
Took
we
you-
we said about the Bristol show and London show, but we didn't go into it in too much detail. No.
Rusty go Sheffield.
I did Sheffield and I did Liverpool. So 4 dates.
So how was that planned? How did you plan that and decide to go to those places and decide on the venues and?
So London and Bristol, I like booked and promoted myself entirely. London, I guess, is where I'm from, so I kind of know I can get a crowd there. Bristol, I was meant to play a show there on a tour I did in like 2021, 2022. But then there was a massive storm and the show didn't end up happening. So I knew that I had people that
Unfinished
wanted
business.
to see me, and I'd never been there. And I have like friends and whatnot in Bristol. So I just kind of booked those shows myself. And then Sheffield, I went to university in Sheffield. So
Right.
again, I kind of know people that work in venues and that sort of thing. So that allowed me to book Sheffield. And then in Liverpool, I'd played a show there in the summer of last year. And the people that booked me for that show also run a monthly residency at this really lovely coffee shop there. And
Oh, nice.
when I played that show, they were like, if you ever want to come back and do this. So I was just like, yes, please, hello, please may I come. But it was really lovely, actually. It was really fun. A lot of driving, but definitely worth it.
Is there any other cities that you'd like to do next time?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go anywhere. I've never played a show in Manchester.
Right.
I'd like to do that. I mean, I've played some really random cities in the north and been to like Hull and places like that. But yeah, I guess Manchester. I've also not done much of the south. I feel
I was
like
going to say like Brighton. I mean, the hotspots down here are going to be Brighton. Obviously, you've
Yeah.
done the mighty South End, so you can tick that off your list.
yeah.
But
That's the big one.
Brighton. But you said about one of your producers is in Newcastle. Hattie, right? Is
Yeah.
in Newcastle. So Newcastle must be one to. That must be a good place to gig up there as well.
Yeah, I think that would be great. It's just far.
It is far. Yeah. Sorry.
It's
Geography.
me and my. I was saying earlier that I have like a little green Clio.
Yeah.
And she's been written off twice, and I keep her going. Every time they write her off, they pay me out, and I use it to fix her. And then we just keep going. And yeah, she goes up and down.
Will she get you to Newcastle?
She would get me to Newcastle. She makes quite a lot of noise on the motorway, but
Just like shaking
she
going
doesn't
up.
have any aircon or any heating anymore. So in the summer, it's a bit of a nightmare.
And in the winter, by the sounds of it as well.
Yeah, but I love her.
Okay, that's good.
She's great.
South Coast wise, like
Yeah.
Southampton, they've got quite a few venues that the joiners down in Southampton, places like that. So Southampton would be a good, just do a South Coast tour. Work your
Yeah.
way all the way down to Cornwall.
That would be lovely, actually, especially in the summer. Can you imagine?
Not in your car.
Windows down. If anyone has a car, they can get back. No, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to do, we've talked about trying to do some road trips, haven't we? And we've only made it to London so far. Although,
Well, no, Future Hits has been on the road. We've had a Future Hits banner in Brighton,
yeah, so no,
We can take
we've got a gig coming up in
Manchester.
Brighton first on
Oh
the
yeah, Friday. This Friday.
Yeah, this Friday. So by the time this goes out, it would have happened, which is nearly sold out. Obviously, Manchester in May, on the 20th of May,
Mhm.
which needs to sell tickets. So if you want to go to that event, get tickets for that, please. It's hosted by Is the Speaker Working, which is Darcy and Dan. So yeah, so we've got those events happening. But I meant from like me, you and Kieran's perspective, we talked about doing like road trips, but it hasn't quite happened yet, has it?
Not quite.
Me and Kieran, we're obviously the core people. The important really matter.
No, I didn't say. I'm not repeating that. So no, it was just a case that we've talked about filming content and going to gigs, haven't we? But it just hasn't quite worked out yet. But we might have one. Oh no, you can't make the other one that I'm thinking of, by the sounds of it. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so if you've got gigs you want us to come and film and do content, let us know, because it'd be fun to do a road trip, especially in Cornwall.
You just want a holiday out there.
Do you know what?
So
I've got,
basically, if you do a South Coast tour, we're going to follow you.
yeah, we're just going to follow
You're
you.
so welcome to.
Or no, do you know what? We'll give you a lift so that you can
Yeah,
have to
please.
suffer in your car.
Or
Yeah,
you can
I'll
sit in the
drive.
back of my car and we'll see what happens.
That's all right, I'll drive. It's fine. It's fine. I've got aircon. But I've got in the real world, in my real job, I might be going in the real
You
world.
okay?
My muggle job. Who said about muggle jobs?
April, Jen.
April. That's so good.
Muggle job.
A muggle job.
That's good.
So in my muggle job, I'm trying to manoeuvre a visit down to Port Isaac in Cornwall.
Well, you got the site down there.
Yeah, I'm trying not to give it away completely, Abs, but yeah.
Someone's gonna get that in a lot of jobs.
Yeah. So I've got somewhere to potentially go and visit down in Port Isaac. So I told Charlotte and she was like, yeah, we're coming. And I was like, okay. I want to take my bike.
It's business though.
Yeah, it's business, yeah. I can't get you and the kids in the room. It's just a single bed. Where else? So with obviously you've done your tour and you've been to Nashville and you've released your EP. What else is on the agenda for the summer? Maybe let's do that first.
Yeah. So I'm kind of working on the next 3 singles at the moment, trying to kind of get ahead of it.
Are they solely on your own or working with other producers?
So I'm working with Hattie again for one of the tracks, and then I'm going into the studio tomorrow with my friend Tom, who actually mixed this time, which is on the EP. So kind of like people I've worked with before and know that I like working with, which is nice.
And then he's recording the drums as well?
He's actually probably going to play the drums as well.
Cool.
So he's like engineering the session and playing the drums because
Nice.
he's very multi-talented. He's also a songwriter, but you know, some people can't do it all, can you? I mean, he can. But yeah, so that should be good. And then I'm just playing a bunch of London shows at the moment, which is nice.
What's been your favourite venue in London? Because you've done quite a bit. Like you've done some smaller, low-key, more intimate gigs in like coffee shops and things, haven't you? So what's been your favourite sort of style of venue to play?
That's a good question. I played the Gladstone, which is a pub in Borough, on Sunday night, and it's never a bad night. And people are so quiet and they actually listen to you and they laugh at your jokes.
I think lots of people laugh at your jokes, yeah.
Thank you. They don't always. I have actually played a show once where I made a joke and nobody laughed. And then I started playing the song, but I thought it was so awkward that nobody had laughed that I couldn't stop laughing. I had to restart the song.
What was the joke?
It was the joke, I say it quite a lot, but it was a joke about stalking my ex-boyfriend. And everyone just looked at me like, and I was like, I really hope you don't think I actually stalked my ex-boyfriend. It's like, it's not a good joke. Like, it's just a bit weird if no one laughs at that.
Yeah.
Where were you in your set by that point? Like, did you still have quite a way to go?
Oh yeah. I was probably like 2 songs in.
And they like chill out a little bit.
No, I don't think anyone was really with me on that one. It was a bit of an odd show. So sometimes I worry. Or I think I've offended a woman before. I can't remember. I was playing a show so far in Hull. And I remember, I don't want to say this on anything recorded, but I made a joke. And this woman just like gave me the dirtiest look and like gasped.
Gasped?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't imagine you saying anything to make...
You're so rude and offensive.
I think I said that I didn't like someone and I'd written a song about it. And apparently the way I said it was just
Was it like a famous person or was it just...
No.
Oh, okay, right.
No.
It's a bit of Rayleigh. Rayleigh's getting a kicking.
Yeah, no. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with Rayleigh.
No, it's fine. I was joking.
I'll go one day.
You're going to bypass it on the way home. Just look out the window.
Are there any venues in there?
Well, no, but my mum lives there.
Oh my gosh,
go for a
yeah.
cup of tea.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
By the end of this, it's going to be a new sitcom. You two are just going to be living together in Rayleigh.
Me, you and your mum, perfect. And your sister, she'll do all the shows.
Pets welcome.
I'll give up on music.
I'll give up on music.
Your sister will be the star. It's perfect.
No, it's a musical family. We'll all do music. We'll carry on
We'll
music.
start a band.
Yeah.
Your mum will be
start
the
a
front
band.
woman.
Do some pet sitting. Yeah. She's a pro.
These are all my favourite things, to be honest. Playing music.
Cups
pets,
of tea.
Other people's mums.
Same as Kieran. No, I'm joking.
He literally does nothing. He sits there. Well, he does everything. Sorry, just assassinating you over there.
But the thing is, I couldn't make the joke about anyone else, could I?
No, true.
So, sorry.
But yeah, he's behaving himself. He's just like working really hard.
He's
As he
amazing.
does every
If
week.
you
And we just bully him.
if you can see the content that Kieran puts out and you can follow him at KieranFilms_. So if you want anyone filming your gigs, he does very reasonable rates. So go and find him and follow him. And I was going to say use him, but that sounds terrible. So, but inquire, DM him, slide into his DMs. You're gonna what? Oh, as a short, yeah. All right, there you go. Slide into his DMs and because he's got a few. It's a few gigs coming up that we are going to, aren't we? That we've all booked in for, I think. No, okay, we'll talk about that off pod.
On your own.
No, I don't want to go on my own. Right, so you've got some gigs in London. Have you got any that you want to plug?
This
Yeah,
goes out on Monday, by the way.
on this Monday. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I am playing at the Bedford
You are.
pub on Thursday.
In Balham.
It's actually my local now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, not to tell everyone where I live, but
My ex-girlfriend used to live in Tooting Beck.
oh really?
Yeah, so I know that area reasonably
God,
well.
you and sitting back, me and Rayleigh.
I know, mate. Tooting Beck can get self-censoring.
It's very impressive.
Huh?
It's very impressive.
Yeah. That's my only talent. I'm not a musician.
Big dick.
Pardon?
What has happened to this? Big dick.
It still sounds like you said that. Oh my god. Oh.
I really didn't know what I was getting myself in
No,
for.
the funny thing is sometimes it takes a turn. But
I think it's because it's the last one. We're all a bit delirious.
yeah, so it's the last one of this series. It'll be back later in the year, but we wanted to do the 12 episodes, see how we get on, and then just take a bit of a break and then come back once everyone. What are you laughing at now? You're still laughing at Big Dick. And then after the festival seasons and stuff, then we'll be back for series 2 at some point in the future, I reckon.
Yeah. I've spoken to a few people that
Yeah.
want to get involved for series 2.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
I can look at that. See if we approve.
we do. Big tick.
Big tick. Oh, that's what she said. I thought she was paying you a compliment, mate. Anyway, let's get off that. Right, is there anything else we need to talk about? Is there anything else you would like to, what were you going to say?
Truckfest.
Truckfest?
No, not you.
That was last year. I actually got shortlisted for Truckfest, but this year nothing.
Oh.
Oh,
I know. How dare they?
it's not called Truckfest, it's called Fest.
I am playing a friend of mine is putting on a festival at the Victoria
Ooh.
on the 11th of May, which is about prioritising women and non-binary people in music, and that's got a cool lineup. So that's a good one to go to if you're looking for things to do.
Is there a link for that somewhere?
In my bio,
There it is.
Yeah. of course,
And they can find you on Instagram.
at Hallworth Music, which is like Hall. I mean, you'll see it.
I mean, that is not the most
written
difficult
down.
one in the world, is it?
No, people don't get it. People have no idea what I'm saying sometimes, especially not Americans. They have no clue what I'm saying. You don't have to say Hallworth.
Oh,
But,
right.
Maybe that's what you should do.
Yeah, but yeah,
Just
I always
clarify.
say you walk into a hall and you see a painting and you think, how much is that worth?
Nice.
So remember that.
Story.
I have to do that. I'm not doing it. Oh, that's going to be on there. I'm not doing that.
Look, cherry with a W.
Exactly. Right, Kieran, do you want to reveal yourself on camera? Come on, come over here.
You actually did get an extra mic out like beforehand.
I
as well.
did. Where have you put it?
Oh, I've moved it now. I tied it up.
Well,
Nice one.
come into shot, and then. What do you mean where? You know where the
set
shots
cameras
are.
Up. You know what frame.
Okay,
Come sit next to you.
Come sit next to me. Oh, blimey, this has got some actual.
Wow, that's like an essay. It's like your email to.
You can't really hear. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Well, I did quite disappointingly, which is quite upsetting. The ones I haven't got was guess what band member is worst with the microphone?
Oh yeah.
Because that's at every single episode.
Yeah, but Hannah's actually held the mic where it needs to be.
Yeah. she's a
Exactly.
pro.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
disappointed.
Okay.
How Isaac likes being active or doing things outside.
Do I say that a lot?
Oh yeah.
Do I?
Yeah, of course. A form of bold joke.
Oh what?
Bald.
Oh.
I didn't do-
American.
Balls joke. No, I didn't. I did a couple of them.
A mention of a spreadsheet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a
Did-
fair one. Yeah, we
Love a
didn't.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We were nearly there with something that can't be announced or is a surprise.
Oh yeah. I checked
I
with
thought
Hannah. We were good to go.
I said anything's fair game.
Anything goes, and it really was.
I put mention of Patreon, but I guess we won't use that.
You
We're allowed
can't.
to plug
you
our
can-
own Patreon.
Well, I even put it in a bracket so we could plug it.
Okay. So how do people do that?
Well, they listen to my radio show every Friday to Sunday morning, and they'll find all the information over there.
Or you go to patreon.com/Future Hits Radio.
And then a form of Matt's holiday story, because you usually talk about something you've done in your life.
I feel like you did.
I did do that. I said I went to Suffolk.
And then
The thing is, if I don't talk about stuff that I've done, I don't have anything to talk about. Because I'm not a musician.
So the one in the break was about you not being old.
Wow.
Right, okay. So yeah, so for context, in the break, this is boring. In the break, I said this is the most middle-aged thing I've ever said, and I didn't clear out my garage because I had to book a slot at the tip, and it was full. So I had to.
That is boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
So
but it goes along the idea of you being.
Okay,
old.
fine. So out of the 12, it goes along with the theory you're old. Great.
And then the other one that I said is I would count, but you may not, is about wearing the same clothing.
No, you can have that. Yeah. Yeah, you can have that.
Because I hadn't written it down, but it was on my phone. But you were talking about it.
I said it before and I said it again. I think that like cream neutral hoodies are going to have to be our Future Hits uniform.
I won't say no.
I've got another one under the desk.
Yeah, it's mine sorted.
And then the ones that I actually got, obviously I'm not a musician, yeah, sure. Explaining where you're from, which happened very early on. Because you always explain that you're from Wickford, you're from down the road, you're from Rayleigh, whatever. You always have said.
Oh, see, I'm glad that I've seen these after.
How boring do you feel now?
Abi makes a form of pun reference from an earlier discussion, which is when you start talking about Ian again, because it always happens.
Okay.
Which is when you're trying to argue if I could be plugging. And then, is that it?
I don't know. So out of how many of you actually got it? Because there's more than 12 there, isn't there?
No. You can do maths. There's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you got half. Okay. So Kieran got 6 out of 12. Well done. Good. Oh, anything else to add?
No.
Well, thank you for helping
plugged me
us.
already.
I have.
I've
plugged you. I've plugged you for your film. You've plugged you for your show. Yep. Abby's show Artist Pick goes out on Fridays at 7.
I'll probably be playing Hannah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We've got a new late show starting in May. Hopefully. No, we have. That's starting. And then everyone else you can go and find on the socials. I've updated our Meet the Team page on our website so you can see all the team on there. I've also updated the schedule as well on the app. So you download the app and listen online. Oh, God.
You don't mean that. It's normally me always coughing my guts up. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We will be releasing the live tracks from all of these Soundcheck podcast recordings, including one from Hallworth that we are about to record shortly. And they'll be going live at some point, and you get to see all the fabulous artists that we've been speaking to this season and their live tracks.
Exactly. So all we've got left to say is thank you very much, Hallworth. Hannah, thank you to come in. Thanks for coming in. I've lost it.
We're gone.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to hearing your acoustic bit in a minute. And thank you
for watching and listening.
Thank you. And see you later.
Till Series 2.
Bosh.